Welcome to the Kingdom Hairstylist podcast. This is your host, Billie Jean. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Kingdom Hairstylist Podcast. This is your host. My name is Billie Jean. Welcome to episode 86. Thank you guys for tuning in every week and supporting this podcast, listening to this podcast, sharing it with your friends, reposting it on social media. I'm so grateful for everybody that has supported the Kingdom Hairstylist Podcast thus far. You are appreciated. I'm so grateful. I hope and pray that everybody had a wonderful weekend. I hope that you guys had some fun. I hope that you just took some time to do something nice for yourself. If you didn't, go out and be around people, I just pray that you still found some time to have fun and just do some things, even if it was just reading a book or watching your favorite shows, whatever the case may be. But I just hope that you guys had fun. I know that I am suffering bad from these allergies. I hope that you are not. My nose been running and things just haven't been right. So, but I talked to a couple of my clients and they said that they've been going through the same thing. So that helped me out. So I'm just grateful to be here this morning. It's morning when I'm recording this. So that's why I said morning. And I'm just grateful to be here, period. I'm just grateful that God has shown me favor and showed me a new day, has given me a new chance, a new opportunity to get things right with Him. I'm always striving to make my relationship better with God and to show Him that He's first in my life. So we are going to just hop right into today's episode. I am talking about God's favor is available. This was so important for me to talk about and share because God has just been so good. I never get tired of saying that on this podcast because God is He's just so beautiful and just dope and just everything. I don't even have all the words that I want to say when I think about God because it's just no way to describe Him in one word. I mean, He's just awesome. So I'm just grateful that His favor is available because I have been praying for God's favor for so long. And when something happens in your life and you're like, wow, that was God, that was His favor. It just feels good to know that your prayers are being answered. It feels good to know that your prayers are not being hindered, that God really, really, really hears you. It just feels good and it makes you so excited. So I'm just grateful. And so I prayed and I've been praying and I always ask God for favor over my life. And I ask God for favor over my business. I pray and ask God for favor with people, with Him, just with everybody. I always want to be one of God's favorite. So every day I get a new client review from doing my clients. And I'm just so grateful. And I know that it's only because I pray for God's favor. So it's a trickle effect. One person will give you a review, then you get some new clients, and then that next person will give you a great review, and it just grows and grows and grows. And I just couldn't be more grateful today because of it. So I'm gonna tell y'all a quick funny story. So one day I was doing a new client because I get new clients every day. And I know that that's because of God's favor on my life. I literally get about 2 new clients a day. And that's good for me because I used to have days where I would be off because I didn't have any clients. And then I would have days where I wouldn't have any new clients at all. And then I may have a day where I have 1 new client. But lately, it's been about 2 to 3 new clients a day. And I'm just like, God, you're so beautiful. You're so awesome. You're so precious, and I feel like I don't deserve it sometimes because I don't give God all that he deserves. I don't give him enough praise. I don't worship him enough some days because I'm tired, and I need to stop making excuses and just get up and praise him and dance and sing and be grateful because he loves that. So the funny story is this. So I'm meeting a new client, and she walks in the door. She's very nice, very, very nice. Off the break, just comes in with a good spirit. I know we love those kind of clients. But she came in beautiful, nice, funny. And, we were talking, and I usually ask them, like, how did they hear about me, or, how did they find me? And a lot of people hear about me from, I didn't even notice, but like Facebook groups. People be putting my name in Facebook groups. That's favor. Of course, the booking site that I use is a Style Seat. So I get a lot of new clients from there. And, just people passing my information on, and people go to the website and then they read the reviews. So she was like, she found me off of Style Seat. So she said she was on there, and she was looking and looking and looking, and she is from New York, so she's not really from the area. So she normally goes back home to get her hair done, and then she's been trying a few people here, but just hasn't, found anyone that she vibes with, I guess. And so she said that she ran across my name, and it just stuck out to her. She was like, Billie Jean. And she thought about it. There was a person that used to do her hair back in New York years ago, and the name of the salon was Billie Jean's. So y'all know I was like floored. I was so happy because I do hope to one day, I desire one day to own my own salon. So I was just grateful to hear the name of the salon, but then I was just even more just taken back by the fact that she said that Billie Jean was like very popular. Like everybody wanted to go there, and she just loved the place so much. And she was like, that's why I picked you, because of your name. And that's a funny story to me because I hated my name growing up. I know that I've shared that on here before, but I hated it. I could not stand it. I never liked it. I used to get in a lot of fights over my name. Like literally, I used to fight you if you made fun of my name. And that caused me to be a little angry as a child, just because people would be so cruel. Like they would just make fun of my name. They would talk about my name. They would just make me feel so bad for having a unisex name. Like they just thought it was the worst thing in the world. So to hear her tell me that she picked me because of my name, it just meant a lot to me. So needless to say, we kicked it off. That's my girl now. So she's came back to me a couple of times, and I've just been grateful for the favor that God has placed over my life. So I just never knew that my name would bring me favor, but that's the glory of God. Like everything literally happens for a reason. And I know that God has something to do with my name being Billie Jean. I just know that God has something to do with everything involving me. And God will give you gifts that'll make room for you. So, me just being able to do hair is a blessing because a lot of people are not talented in this area. So if you are a hairstylist out there and you know that you're great at what you do, like that is a gift from God. And so you should be grateful. You should, thank him every day for the gifts. I always thank God for blessing me with these talents. And I always ask him to continue to bless the work of my hands. And another thing that I do is I pray over my day. Like, I don't know if you guys are taking time out of the day to get up and pray over your day. Even if you're not a hairstylist, even let's just say you are an event planner or you work in an office. Wherever you are, you need to get up every day and you need to pray over your day. Pray for safe and traveling mercies for yourself. Pray against freak accidents. Pray against any negativity. Pray against mean people. Just pray and just thank God for waking you up that day, and pray and thank him for the favor for that day, for your life, for everything. And just another really quick story about praying against freak accidents. I know that that's the reason why I basically brought that up. God is showing me that my prayers are being answered. So every day I pray over my day, like I just said. And every day I pray over my husband's day. He is a driver. He drives trash trucks. So I pray over his life. I pray over his day. I pray against freak accidents literally every day. And yesterday I received a phone call from him, and he told me that the truck that he was driving caught on fire. And thankfully, somebody flagged him to pull over. And I know that that is the favor of God, because I pray for against freak accidents every single day. So I just have a hard time with believing that God is not real. I have a hard time with people that don't believe in him. It's hard because I see God every day in my life. I see him because I meet him every day in my house. He comes to me. He visits me. I feel his presence. I see all the things that he does in my life. And I know this because when I pray for things, they come to pass. So nobody can tell me that he isn't real. Nobody can tell me that I serve a God that is not real. I pray for favor over this podcast every day, because I don't want to do this podcast for me. Like, I want to do it for you all. I want to do it for all the listeners. I want to do it because God wants me to do it. And I never know who's listening. I never know what they need. So I pray for favor over this podcast to make sure that this podcast is doing exactly what people need it to do. And that it is, a beautiful blessing to somebody that may have needed to hear a word of encouragement every day. But I don't want to do it just to be saying I do a podcast. Like, I really want to do it for a reason. So, and I know that the favor is real, because my followers are growing. My downloads are growing. I used to post every time, I hit a certain mark of downloads, but I just don't even do it anymore, because I'm just almost amazed at how big it's growing. And I just never, I never go back and figure out how many and all of that. But I just know it's growing, because I've never had 138 downloads in 1 week. And that's what I did last week. So that was beautiful to me. My clients are even listening to this podcast. I had a new client the other day who came to me, and she was telling me that she listened to my podcast. And that was the first time that a client had ever told me that. So I was very grateful for that. And that lets me know that what I'm doing is good and what I'm doing is right, and to keep going. I get messages all the time about, keeping this podcast going. And it always comes at a time when I want to give up. It always comes at a time where I'm like, man, I'm not doing this podcast. Nobody's even listening to this podcast. And it's great to get those reminders that, yes, people really are listening. I started being more interactive on the page. I'm not sure if you guys even paid attention to it, but I'm proud of myself, because I'm one of those people that don't really like to get attention. I don't really like to be seen. Like, I'd rather be heard and not seen, which is why I do a podcast. But I've been trying to do more live videos. I've been trying to show my face. I've been trying to interact with you all to show you that I'm real, that I'm human, that I go through things just like y'all go through things. But God has really, really been good to me. And so I just wanted to encourage you that I'm not going to be before you much longer. But I wanted to tell you that God's favor is available to you as well. Like, don't think that God's favor only happens to certain people. Don't think that you have to perform to get God's favor. Don't think that you have to do anything special to get God's favor. Just start to think of God as your father, like your real father. Like, he is your true and living God, but he is your father. He is the one that provides. He is the one that loves. He's the one that protects. He is your father. So if you really start to look at him like that, like your earthly father, man, your relationship going to change with God. It's going to change so fast. It's going to change to be so good that you're going to be like, I can ask my father for anything. And that's how I started to look at God. But yeah, it's available. It's available to anyone. I didn't do anything special to get favor. I just prayed for it. I literally woke up one day and I just started praying for God's favor over my life. And I seen it come to pass so many times in the Bible that I knew that I could have it as long as I asked for it. So I do have a couple of scriptures there, but there are so